The year is 33 AD. Jerusalem is overflowing with people celebrating Passover. A man named Jesus of Nazareth has been arrested and condemned to crucifixion. The weight of the world seems to bear down on him as he is led to Golgotha. "Get up! Move it, Jew!" the Roman soldier barked harshly. Brutality surrounds him as Jesus is nailed to the cross. The air is thick with anguish. Two other men, thieves, are crucified alongside him. Weakly, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do," Jesus pleaded. Even in agony, Jesus speaks words of forgiveness. But then, as darkness begins to fall, he whispers something else, a phrase lost to most, but overheard by only 3 individuals. Their lives would be forever changed by those final words. "What did he say?" Mary Magdalene whispered to herself, confused. "I must remember." John whispered to himself, determined. Truly, this was the Son. Our story begins in the ancient city of Jerusalem, on a day that would forever change the course of history. The air is thick with tension, the sky a somber gray. Jesus of Nazareth, a figure of hope and controversy, is being led through the crowded streets. "Move it, you blasphemer," a Roman soldier barked harshly. A Roman soldier shoves Jesus forward. The crowd surges, their faces a mixture of hatred and morbid curiosity. Simon of Cyrene, a bystander, is forced to help Jesus carry the cross. The weight is immense, both physically and symbolically. The procession reaches Golgotha, the place of the skull. 3 crosses stand silhouetted against the darkening sky. "Nail him to the cross," Soldier 2 ordered, his voice brutal. The soldiers brutally nail Jesus to the cross, along with 2 criminals. The sound of hammer against metal echoes through the air. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what see." The sun beat down on the dusty road to Jericho. Jesus, followed by his disciples, walked slowly, the heat shimmering off the stones. A blind beggar, Bartimaeus, sat by the roadside, as he always did, hoping for a coin or two. He listened intently, straining to hear above the general noise and bustle. "Has anyone got any spare change?" Bartimaeus begged. He called out, his voice hoarse from disuse. One of the disciples scoffed, dismissively saying, "It's just another beggar. Ignore him." But Bartimaeus heard the shuffle of sandals and the murmur of voices drawing closer. He recognized the sounds of a crowd, a very large crowd, and then, before Jesus passed him, Bartimaeus whispered something. "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me," Bartimaeus pleaded. He shouted, his voice cracking with desperation. "Quiet! Don't bother the teacher." Disciple 2 said, annoyed. Another disciple tried to silence that. The sun beats down on Golgotha. A somber crowd gathers, their faces etched with grief and fear. 3 figures hang upon crosses, silhouetted against the harsh sky. Another day, another crucifixion. "Think this one's really the king of the Jews?" one Roman soldier said cynically. "King of the beggars, more like. Just another troublemaker to nail up," the other soldier replied, dismissively. The Roman soldiers, hardened by their duty, cast dice at the foot of the cross, indifferent to the suffering before them. "Jesus, my Lord." Mary Magdalene whispered, grief-stricken. Mary Magdalene kneels at the foot of the cross, her face streaked with tears. The disciple John stands beside her, offering quiet support. Weakly, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do," Jesus pleaded. Even in his agony, Jesus speaks words of forgiveness, his voice barely a whisper carried on the wind. Our story begins in Jerusalem, under the oppressive rule of the Roman Empire. Tension hangs heavy in the air as whispers of rebellion and hope swirl among the people. Jesus, a humble carpenter turned spiritual leader, walks through the crowd, his eyes filled with compassion. His followers surround him, their faces reflecting unwavering faith. "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God," Jesus said, his voice gentle and calming the commotion around him. Days later, the Passover celebration fills Jerusalem, but the atmosphere is charged with more than just religious fervor. Jesus shares a final meal with his disciples. He knows what awaits him. "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me," Jesus said solemnly. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prays, wrestling with his destiny. The weight of the world rests upon his shoulders. The year is 1492. A cloaked figure scurries through the darkened alleyways of Seville, Spain. Whispers of heresy and forbidden knowledge hang heavy in the air. "I must find him. He knows the truth," the figure muttered urgently. The figure, revealed to be a woman named Isabella, seeks a hidden scholar, rumored to possess ancient secrets about the crucifixion. They say the church hides what truly happened, that the whispers hold more truth than scripture, Isabella said, her voice determined. Isabella arrives at a nondescript door. She knocks 3 times, then twice. From off-screen, the scholar gruffly demanded, "Who disturbs my solitude?" Isabella pleaded, "It is I, Isabella. I seek knowledge of the jejune whispers." A peephole opens. An eye scrutinizes Isabella. The door creaks open. The jejune whispers, "Dangerous knowledge, child. Knowledge the church would kill to suppress." Our story begins in the hallowed halls of the Vatican Library, where Father Michael, a renowned biblical scholar, pores over ancient texts. Dust motes dance in the single shaft of light illuminating his workspace. Father Michael muttered to himself with intensity, "Et tenebrae facte sunt super terram universum," he questioned aloud. Father Michael translated the passage from an obscure gospel, and darkness fell upon the entire land. He felt a chill despite the warm Roman night. Days turn into weeks as Father Michael delves deeper, driven by an insatiable curiosity. He unearths a reference to Jesus, a figure mentioned in fragmented apocryphal texts, always associated with shadows and whispers. "Jesus, who are you?" Father Michael asked, intrigued. One evening, while examining a particularly brittle scroll, he finds it. A passage, almost illegible. Our story begins in Jerusalem, on the day before Passover. Tension hangs heavy in the air, a storm brewing not of weather, but of faith and fate. Jesus, surrounded by his disciples, walks with a quiet resolve, a sense of impending destiny etched on his face. "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done," Jesus said with resignation. An angel appears, offering him strength. The weight of the world rests upon Jesus' shoulders. Betrayal arrives with the dawn. Judas, one of his own, leads the Roman soldiers to Jesus. "Greetings, Rabbi," Judas said deceptively. Judas said, and he kissed him. "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" Jesus asked, disappointed. Jesus is arrested, his disciples scatter. He is taken before Pilate, the Roman governor. "What accusation do you bring against this man?" Pilate asked authoritatively. "We found this man,"